This is where our story begins. The ghetto, Lower East Side, New York City. A sealed-off world of its own, complete with strange sounds, stifling smells. Its own look of standing still in time. The most amazing thing about a ghetto is that people live here. People who have the capacity for happiness, hope, but who instead live in limbo, slowly going nowhere, cocooned in a world of despair. A world that seems to refuse any penetration of progress. The ghetto is their home, their America, the home of the free. A few years ago, this neighborhood was home territory for the street gangs of New York. Names like the Bishops, Hellburners, Scorpions were dreaded symbols of terror. They ruled with sawed-off shotguns, bicycle chains, zip guns, Molotov cocktails, the switchblade. Out of this culture comes the man whose story we're about to relive. The weird excitement of cruelty was his life. The fear of death his constant companion. A few years ago, he was the leader of the most notorious street gang in New York City, the Mau Mau Chaplains. This is his turf, his people. This is the story of Nicky Cruz.
Nicky was 15 when he arrived in New York from his native Puerto Rico. A home of parental rejection and witchcraft had sown such hate in Nicky's heart that his parents, in desperation, sent him to live with his brother Frank. To a frightened, lonely boy, these were Nicky's first sights of glamorous New York.
Meeting Nicky Cruz changed my own life. One of the rival gang members of the Assassin Lord Gang, in fact, turned to me and said, "Mister, if you can reach Nicky Cruz, you can reach anybody. You get him, he needs God. He's a killer." I went to shake hands with Nicky Cruz, and he slapped me and spit on me and said, "Go to hell."
The train stopped, then we started jumping. The police was waiting for us, so we split different way. And then they have, in those days, you remember Plymouth, they have the horses, you know, and we began to run, and they began to follow with the horses, and sometimes the horses kick you and throw you away. And then there was thousands of people. You hardly really can walk there that day. And I do remember that it was tough for the horses, you know, the police horses, to get into the crowd.
Well, when we got there, we started breaking the antennas of the cars, running around. The cops and the horses came, you know, in the street, you know. We started throwing stuff on them, bottles, everything we could find, we throwing the cops, you know. And then, when I look around, they had around 20 guys marching, you know, on top of the car walk. Then, you know, like, it was me, Nicky, and the guys, so, you know, we hid under the car walk until they passed by, and then we came back out. And the cops went after us in the dirt, you know, in the sand, and the horses, and we was tracking, you know, it was making it.
I wasn't such a good fighter with my hands, but I always had a shank. A shank is a knife. I always carry a knife with me, and make sure that blind man was with me. Because he was my bodyguard. And if he didn't have it, I always had it. And I couldn't fight like that with my hands when it comes to shanking and stamping. That was my bag.
In other words, you didn't go to Coney Island for fun. You went there for a fight.
To raise hell. That was our bag.
And you did it.
That's right. Chop heads, too.
As I listened to Carlos and Blindman, I realized that these were the memories of the good times. Between the takeover at Coney Island and today, they all had served prison terms for various crimes. And right then, at that moment, they were on heroin. The sadistic Coney Island episode was one of their cherished memories. They had few others.